So what the heck is Princess Peach Showtime? Well, it's a brand new adventure game starring none other than Princess Peach. Apparently there's a brand new sparkle theater that opens up within the Mushroom Kingdom. Apparently a mysterious figure, I believe called the Wicked Grape and the Sour Bunch, comes to destroy everything that they made, corrupting all the different stories and plays within the theater. So Peach works with the theater guardian Stella in order to jump into each individual play and solve the mystery of each one. Peach is tasked with taking out the Sour Bunch in each area by transforming herself into different costumes based on each theater play. But what else can we get from this trailer to explain kind of more of what's happening and what's going on? Well, we're going to dive into it today and try to figure out what this game is even going to be about. So if you enjoyed this video today and this mini analysis, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to stay up to date on all things Princess Peach Showtime and Nintendo in general. First off, we have Princess Peach walking towards her castle, which looks very, very similar to that of Super Mario Odyssey. In fact, it looks exactly the same. Next, we can see the poster that the Toad hands her, and it's a brand new theater called Sparkle Theater somewhere off in the Mushroom Kingdom, I believe, and it's all surrounded by water with many different ports to get there. And then we look at the actual theater itself, and it's absolutely massive and so colorful. It looks like a carnival at night, and it's just absolutely awesome. There's these statues of these new creatures that we see that looks like a mixture between the Wigglers and the Flutters, as they have that caterpillar look to them. But they seem to be the ones that's kind of running these plays and actually performing in them as well, and the residents of this area, as they're kind of littered everywhere. We know there's going to be multiple plays in this game, more than even what we saw, but we've only seen 4 so far. And we have some other posters over here which might get us a glimpse as to what else we can expect within this game. Going from the far left, once again, just trying to make some predictions based off of what we see. The one on the far left looks to be like some type of baby of our new creature. We're going to call them Wiglets for the sake of this video. It then looks like to be some type of spy show or something, as a Wiglet is actually holding onto a paraglider and flying by a moon. And then we see one which looks like the Wiglet is maybe ice skating, which could be an ice skating show that Peach will eventually be in. Taking a second look at the middle poster, it looks like maybe there's some type of creepy castle in the background as well. Maybe it's more of a haunted theme. On the right side, the posters are from the Sword Peach transformation and also the cooking area as well, but the far right poster, I really can't make out what this is supposed to be. The only other one we didn't see is the detective one, so maybe it has something to do with that, as it looks like it has nothing to do with the Kung Fu fighting one. And we can make out the statues on the left and right, as the one on the left is wearing the chef outfit, obviously being from the cooking show, and the one on the far right is wearing the detective outfit. And the camera zooms out even more, showing us some more posters off in the background. We can't really make out what they show. Yeah, they definitely probably give us some ideas as to what else we can expect Princess Peach to turn into in this game. As soon as Peach and the Toads walk into the main lobby of the theater, you see the Wicked Grape. Once again, I think that's the name. It's hard to hear exactly what the announcer is saying. And obviously the Sour Bunch, which is her minions, appear in a purple vortex. But in the background, we get to see 2 theater areas that you can walk into. The room on the left having a ninja star knife weapon symbol, which is probably some type of secret ninja Peach, or it could be the karate one. We're not 100% sure on that one. And then the far one on the right looks like it's some type of cowboy hat with bull horns, so maybe we get like Wild Wild West Peach and she gets a gun. That would be awesome. It's probably going to be like a cork gun or something, knowing Nintendo, but that would still be cool. Then we see the witch-like antagonist that has a giant scepter in her hand, long purple hair, and a play theater mask, which is pretty interesting, and I actually kind of dig this design for the main antagonist. And she's covered in purple gear from head to toe, which is probably how all her minions are also purple as well. We then get another zoom out of the theater, showing the posters in a little bit better of an area where we can kind of make out the last 2. The one on the second to last to the left looks like it's the ninja themed one, as they're wearing like the ninja headband on their head. And then the one on the far left, I can't really tell what that is. It looks like some type of flower or plant maybe. The one second to last on the far right looks like some type of city, or like a giant skyscraper that Peach is trying to get up to, or maybe it's some type of city themed play. And then the one on the far right looks like one of the Wiglets' head is getting pounced around or something. I don't really know, or getting struck by lightning, or hit by some type of stick. Maybe that's a drumstick and maybe it's bouncing off of a drum or something. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what that looks like. Can't really tell. Now it seems like there's maybe only 4 or 5 levels in each section, and it looks like you might even be able to go downstairs in the back left and then up the stairs in the back center, but it looks like up the stairs is blocked off with purple lasers until you finish this section. So this hub world might actually call back to Mario 64's Peach's Castle, which is great. Also, right after the villain appears is when we actually see Peach lose her crown and her hair is down. This is where she gets the ribbon in her hair, which is her guardian, Stella. We can see her entering the one stage that's open right now, which is the one with the sword, which probably is one of the very first levels of the game. You can also see a purple line going from the door all the way across the ground, which might actually be one of the lines blocking her path up the stairs. So once she beats this section, that line will probably disappear, slowly unblocking all the lines blocking her way up there. You then see Peach in the castle stage with the sword, and you can see all these little Wiglets are being harassed by some of the new Sour Bunch. Something else that's pretty interesting is the noses of the Wiglets are like light bulbs that blink for some reason. I don't really know. Once we figure out what they actually are, maybe that will help us. But then you can see some dressed as knights trying to get through these giant roots that are appearing, thanks to the bunch. Peach is able to use the ribbon power-up thanks to Stella in order to knock back enemies in order to get coins, and also to bloom flowers, trees, and seed buds, and you can see some in this scene right here. But in order to do certain things in certain stages, she actually has to transform like she does into Swordfighter Peach, which actually allows her to swing a lance and perform acrobatic moves. She turns into Marth and Zero Suit Samus all in one with her little flip. But yeah, she can do a dodge flip right at the right time, which will allow her to jump off the enemy's head and get to the back side, where she can then follow up with a 3-hit combo, which is pretty insane. In the background, you can see a giant knight with a giant hammer and shield, which looks like it's going to come down and fight Peach very soon, which it seems to do in a later scene, which might be kind of a mini boss area where a cage drops down, keeping them inside of this small area in order to fight. You then can see Peach running up a tower, and there's lots of enemies in front of her that she's using sword combos on in order to defeat. And as the enemies are jumping through the windows in the tower, Peach can actually jump up onto the platforms to collect coins and even a giant 3-point coin. We see Peach running forward, which seems to be the end of the play because she finally reaches the mansion or castle, and she can see the king up at the top crying as if he needs help, and one Sour Bunch soldier beside him. Now it looks like this is where we're going to fight a boss battle for this stage, as we see a giant purple flower come up in the next scene. And this seems to be the reason why all the purple roots are all over the stage, so odds are this is a boss battle. You can see Staples also closing the flower pod shut almost, probably means we need to go up and hit it with Peach's sword in order to knock the staples off. This also makes me wonder if every single stage will have a boss battle at the end, which would be pretty neat. This next area seems to be part of a crime scene, as there's a museum. Something has happened in here, whether somebody has stole something or something else bad has happened. But it doesn't look like the Sour Bunch is doing some directly bad thing here. There's no enemies anywhere nearby, and it's just the little Wiglets, as there's 2 police ones standing outside of the museum. We then see the inside of the museum with some artifacts everywhere, and some of the Wiglets look very saddened or confused, as if something is missing here or somebody kidnapped something. Now, there's also 2 coffins up on a platform. The blue one, which has a spade symbol underneath, and a red one which has a diamond underneath, both with chains wrapped around them. The blue one's the only one sparkling though for some reason, I'm not quite sure. It looks like Peach might have to find the keys in order to open these things up. This area doesn't seem to be focused on quick and exhilarating gameplay like the sword, but more going around doing detective work, puzzle solving, as Peach uses the magnifying glass in order to shine a light, which will then give her a hint if she shines the light on a particular spot, as the question mark appears over this mural on the wall. It also looks like this museum and area is actually based on the actual history of these creatures in this game, as we can see these star-shaped symbols everywhere, which seems to be the main thing with this game. You can even see the outside of the theater itself has that star shape, and the guardian Stella is based off of that star shape as well. So maybe it'll kind of tell us the history of who these creatures are and what they're doing here. In this scene, it looks like there was a mask that was on display, or at least 2 of them that have been stolen, as the case was broken into, and you can actually see footprints on the ground when Peach uses her magnifying glass. And you can see a key hiding beside the bench, which looks like to be the spade key that opens up the blue coffin. We then see another scene of a dark room where it seems to be a Wiglet hiding underneath the pillows on the couch. As you can see, its nose sticking out, and you can see two books, one with like a cloud shape and one with a star shape, probably some mystery that we have to solve in this room, with a piece of paper lying on the floor and some type of bookshelf raising in the background with an arrow pointing to the right with symbols all over it. A star, lightning bolt, cloud, and some other symbol. Next up, we can see another small member of the Sour Bunch, which looks like a bird, but not necessarily. It's wearing a mask, and it looks like maybe some fake feet, and also you can see his little hands are holding two fake wings in order to fly away with one of the pieces of the dessert from the background, as some of the Wiglets are holding on for dear life in order to drag it back. Lots of these bird creatures are all flying off with the desserts. We then have Baker Peach, which shoots globs of icing down onto a giant chocolate cake, which starts off pink but then transforms into chocolate icing as well for some reason. But it looks like she needs to finish decorating all the cakes before the timer on the left is up. Now, what is the meter in the middle? I'm not 100% sure. Maybe that's the progression meter, but the meter on the right shows, I guess, what the cake is supposed to look like, and also what cake she's on, as it shows the second slice, unless that's like some type of health meter, or maybe she made a mistake 3 times, which made her lose 3 cakes. We then have a scene where Peach has to use a whisk in order to bake some type of cookies and desserts, and she just kind of waves the whisk around in order to bake. I wish it was this easy, but she also has a timer again and some type of progression bar in the back. We then have Kung Fu Peach as our last one that was shown off, and we can see some mysterious figures standing on the stairway here, as it looks like one of the Wiglets are completely knocked out. Like, this is going to be the boss of the stage that we have to fight, and we actually see him, it looks like, in a later scene. In this scene, we can see some of the Sour Bunch drop in to try to fight Peach, and we can see a scene of Kung Fu Peach as she's kicking and chopping away at all the enemies, doing backflip kicks and everything, which is pretty cool. Which is another fighting one, probably very similar to the Sword Peach. Then see a scene where she has to hop across these different pegs sticking out of the ground by not bumping into any other ones probably, and trying to find a path to the end. Now, it looks like she also has to collect some type of new collectible here that's not just the yellow coins. It seems to be some type of blue shard, which maybe she'll need for this specific area. We then have Peach fighting some warrior, which I think is the same one we saw standing on the staircase, and it seems to be held up by wire. As you can see, those purple strings once again that we saw earlier, probably being controlled by the main antagonist or some other creature. But it's a giant puppet doll that Peach is fighting, and it seems like it's just going to be a time button press type of thing, where when the circle gets to the smallest, you press a button prompt in order to do a deflect or defend yourself, and maybe this is just for defensive measures, just so you can block. I hope we can attack whenever we want, and we just have to attack at the right times, which would be pretty cool. Now we have one more look at the lobby, and once again we can see the same area with the same symbols on both of the doors, now lit up with pink, and you can see what seems to be a pop-up dress shop for Peach, where maybe she can go change her different dresses that she can wear outside of her costumes from each level. Maybe you can get a different colored dress besides her regular pink one when you're just walking around a stage and not in your transformation, which would be pretty cool. It's also probably where we can spend those coins we collect. You can once again see the upstairs area that's blocked off, and you can see the bottom stairs area that will probably take you to a lower section, which is pretty cool, and a symbol of the main antagonist in the middle of the room, which might actually be where a boss stage or something appears after you completed all the theater doors in this area. Then finally we have some key art which shows Princess Peach and Stella and the new logo, which is absolutely awesome. I think this looks perfect. Like, this is some beautiful art. You can see Kung Fu Peach, Baker Peach, and obviously Swordfighter Peach. And those are the ones that they showed off today outside of like Mystery Peach or Detective Peach. But these look really good. This is some really good artwork. And of course, you have the box art, which is pretty much the same thing, but condensed to fit onto the actual Switch box. But that is Princess Peach Showtime and everything that you could have missed within the brand new reveal trailer. But let me know what you guys are thinking of this game down below. I think it looks absolutely awesome. I cannot wait to see all the different transformations and how this game is actually going to pan out once it releases. This looks like it's going to be a whole lot of fun, and I am super excited for it. But definitely let me know how you feel down below, and thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure you stop what you're doing, leave a like, and subscribe to stay up to date on all things Princess Peach and Nintendo in general. And like always, I'll see you all on the next one. See you guys.